Shalom, hello and welcome to Sharon's Messianic Journey. Thank you so much for joining me today. For those of you who are new, and if you haven't seen our introduction video, please see that first. The link is down below in the description. It may answer some of the questions you may have about me, why I'm doing this, and why I'm doing things differently than you may have ever seen before. If you have seen the introduction video already, thanks so much and welcome back. If you have not seen the Genesis 1a cooking video, Bereshiyt, yet, I would highly recommend, if you would so desire, to go back and watch it because it will explain a lot of things, especially the Hebrew calendar, why we're doing this series. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and if you like this video and turn on notifications, it would help us even more and keep you informed of future videos as they're posted. Also, please feel free to share this video with friends and family if you think something in it might be helpful to them. Thanks again for joining me for this video, and may the Lord richly bless you. This recipe was created by Maureen O'Leary and appears on allrecipes.com. All Recipes has tons of recipes organized by food category like meats, vegetables, whole grains, etc. The link to the All Recipes site and the apple turnovers recipe will be down in the description box, which can be found under the title for this video. And to find the links and more details, you would click where it says More. A few months ago, as I researched the idea that popped into my head about making these videos based on the Torah portions, I discovered that someone else had done it already, but without the messianicness that I hope to bring to the picture. Do you know who the mystery person is? If you haven't figured it out already, the person is actually Jamie Geller, the world-class cook and recipe creator, who I mentioned in last week's Noakh Torah portion. Again, as a Messianic, I do consider myself Jewish like her. Remember, Judaism is the faith of our Messiah Yeshua, because it is from the Jews that salvation or Yeshua comes. However, like I mentioned in the 2a Noakh video, Messianic and traditional Judaism vary greatly in many ways. Because of this, I will be mentioning Yeshua our Messiah as much as I possibly can. But it is very interesting to know the traditional Jewish and or Hebrew meaning behind a lot of things from the scriptures that we as Messianics may not fully understand due to the, quote, Greekness of the Christian teachings we may have been taught over the years, and that I truly believe we have to unlearn. Going back to Jamie, I have nothing but admiration for her skills and abilities, and the quality of her site is really top-notch. I may mention her from time to time on this channel, perhaps quoting or paraphrasing excerpts from her recipe intros, like one that's coming up, or referring you to her recipes that may be complementary in our Messianic journey together. Now you may ask, how do apple turnovers have any kind of spiritual meaning behind them? I'm so glad you asked. Well, according to Jamie's site, quote, Lekh Lekha, tracing the journey of Abraham from his birthplace to his homeland, is about the hidden and revealed. From hiding the identity of his wife Sarah from his neighbors to the unfulfilled promise of a nation, much is given to Abraham, yet the reason for his chosenness remains a mystery. Here this week we will celebrate our Messianic Shabbat debuting Abram and Sarai, soon to be Abraham and Sarah, the father and mother of our faith, with apple turnovers. If you haven't tried them before, maybe there is someone out there. They are a dessert food that cleverly conceals a treasure inside that unless you know what it is beforehand, it is an absolute mystery to the person who receives it, just like our Messiah Yeshua. He is a mystery to those who do not know him. As in the words of Paul, who hoped, quote, to make all see what is the stewardship of the mystery, which from the beginning of the ages has been hidden in God, who created all things through Yeshua the Messiah. And also, Jews request a sign, and Greeks seek after man's wisdom. But we preach Messiah crucified, to the Jews a stumbling block, and to the Greeks foolishness. But to those who are called, both Jews and Greeks, Messiah, the power of God, and the wisdom of God. Now I must admit, all my life, apple turnovers have intimidated me. They look so complicated and difficult to make. Even now, as I am writing and recording this intro, I am petrified at the thought of making them. I am so afraid that I will fail and they won't come out good. But I have deliberately purposed that I will try anyway, because God has not given me a spirit of fear. And a good thing I'm trying it out using this easy version. This recipe, even using pre-made puff pastry dough, has 4.7 stars out of 5 out of 815 ratings. That's pretty good. I hope you agree. Maybe you are knowledgeable or will be so bold as to go ahead and try the version from scratch, and then it will be 5 stars. Most importantly, if you make them along with us for the Lekh Lekha Torah portion, I am sure that any ones you make will be a blessing to your Shabbat gathering. All Recipes says, quote, "These classic apple turnovers have a delicious homemade filling that's baked inside flaky puff pastry triangles. I like to drizzle a sweet glaze on top when they're cooled or serve warm with vanilla ice cream." So the ingredients for these apple turnovers are 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, 4 cups of water, 4 Granny Smith apples, peeled, cored, and sliced, 2 tablespoons of butter, 1 cup of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, 1 tablespoon of water, 1 package of frozen puff pastry sheets, thawed, and they can be gluten-free if necessary, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later, 1 cup of confectioner's sugar, 1 tablespoon of milk, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 1 egg. It's not mentioned in the recipe, but it has been recommended. The supplies we will need are a stove with a burner, an oven, an apple corer, it's optional but recommended, a cutting board, a knife, a large bowl, a large skillet, a mixing spoon, suitable for your type of pan, a pastry mat, optional but recommended, a baking sheet, parchment paper, optional but recommended, 2 small bowls, one for the egg wash and one for the glaze, a whisk or fork for mixing the egg wash and the glaze, a pastry brush for brushing on the egg wash, and a spoon for drizzling the glaze. Also, measuring cups and spoons would be helpful, like a 1 cup, a tablespoon, and a teaspoon. I still have my half teaspoon and just double it to make the teaspoon. For preparation, peel, core, and slice the apples. I will be chopping into smaller than bite-sized pieces as per some of the recommendations on the site. Step 1. Combine lemon juice and 4 cups of water in a large bowl. Place apples in the water to keep them from browning. Step 2. Melt the butter in the large skillet over medium heat. Drain the water from the apples and place them into the hot skillet. Cook and stir for about 2 minutes. Step 3. Add the brown sugar and cinnamon and cook, stirring for 2 more minutes. Step 4. Stir together the cornstarch and 1 tablespoon of water. Pour into the skillet and mix well. Cook for another minute or until sauce has thickened. Remove from heat and cool slightly. Step 5. Preheat the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 degrees Celsius. Step 6. Unfold the puff pastry sheets and repair any cracks by pressing them together. Trim each sheet into a square. Step 7. Then cut each larger square into 4 smaller squares. Spoon apples onto the center of each square. Fold over from corner to corner into a triangle shape and press edges together to seal. Step 8. Place turnovers on a baking sheet, leaving about 1 inch between them. Step 9. Bake for 25 minutes in the preheated oven until turnovers are puffed and slightly browned. Cool completely before glazing. Step 10. To make the glaze, mix the confectioner's sugar, the milk, and the vanilla together in a small bowl. Adjust the thickness by adding more sugar or milk if necessary. Step 11. Drizzle the glaze over the cooled turnovers. And step 12. Enjoy. This is one of the tips from the site. If you do not wish to make the glaze, you can brush the beaten egg over the top of each turnover and sprinkle with white sugar before baking. Our final thoughts for substitutions: you may look online if you have to bake it gluten-free. You can find puff pastry that is gluten-free. It takes a little bit more work to find the ingredients, but you may already have them on hand. But there is puff pastry available that is gluten-free. If you or someone you're making this for is allergic to apples, or if you don't like apples, you can choose a different fruit. If you or someone you're making this for cannot have butter, it is possible to substitute light-tasting olive oil, vegan butter, or coconut oil, among others. If you or someone you're making this for cannot have cow's milk, you can potentially substitute almond or another type of plant-based milk or even goat milk. In closing, again, please feel free to comment below how you like these apple turnovers if you're able to make them, or any suggestions you may have on how we can improve this channel to help our community grow if it be the Lord's will. I thank the Lord for this wonderful opportunity to do this. I pray that it has been a blessing to you, that your Shabbat is wonderful. Shalom, and may the Lord bless you and keep you and your families.